What's up, guys? Josh at Trademark Exotics here. Today I'm going to show everybody some 2016 animals that I produced. Started off with this Mojave Pied female. Produced her from breeding a Black Magic Pied, which is a Black Pastel Mojave Pied male to a Het Pied female. So it has a chance of also having black pastel in here, but pretty sure there's no black pastel, just the Mojave passed down. If I look, at the head, you don't really see black pastel in there. Classic Mojave Pied saddles, real blushed out. Removes basically all of the black lines on the inside that normal pieds have. This girl's coming up on 7 months old now. Produced her at the end of the year. Really nice looking one. I'm gonna move along because I got a lot of snakes to show. Okay, so here's that animal sibling. So I believe this has black pastel and Mojave in there. So I think this is a Black Magic Pied, just like the dad. I mean, there's definitely black pastel pied in there. You can see the white lips, the white face. This one's really feisty too. And if you look at the side of the head, that's why I believe there's Mojave in there. It's just got that gold, like golden black blushing. Definitely think this one has both genes in there. Put her back and move right along. Check this guy out. This is a banana leopard, and he's Heifer pied, and it threw this crazy ringer on there. Funny thing is, I actually hatched 2 of these this year. This one's a little bit smaller. I'm gonna grab the other one. Produced a handful of banana leopard Het pieds, but these 2 came out with these cool ringers, so I held them back. Funny because this one here is a little bit older, and look how much nicer the purples look. A lot deeper, which usually it's the opposite. They start to dull out with age, but for some reason this one's getting better with age. I'm sure it'll dull out as it gets older, but check out those ringers. These guys are going all over the place. I'm gonna put them back, keep going. So, produced 3 Sandblast Killer Pies last season. This is the only female that I produced, and I kept back a pair of them. Basically, It's a super pastel pied with sandblast in it. Sandblast is a newer gene. Brandon Osborne started in his collection. We're not really exactly sure what it is, but it's definitely genetic, and it just really makes things look pretty wacky. It's not recessive because it's passed down right to the next generation, but I'm not exactly sure all the information on it. I'm still trying to put it into other genes and discover more about it, but in the killer pieds it looks really cool. It makes them have this marbly look. Like every scale is a different color. Like this guy up on his head, and then his neck gets all like washed out right here. See the pattern? And then it's like all washed out. When it was hatched, it was basically white, almost just as white as the rest, like the pied white. But then as it aged, it got a little bit of color in there. Let me show you guys the male real quick. So there were 2 males in the clutch. I sold one of them, kept back this guy. I think he was the nicest one as far as pattern goes and the color, especially when he was younger. It's crazy how much color they get as they age in the saddles. They almost hatch out like a really light gray or off-white, and then it starts to color in and start turning orange and yellow and gets all these black scales in there. I think that's my favorite part of the sandblast. This black, all the black flecking on the scales that it throws in. This guy is real active today. So this snake here is actually not what it looks like. Looks like a black-eyed Lucy or some sort of ivory or something like that, but it's actually pewter pied. The only reason I know it's a pewter pied is because I bred a sterling pied to a normal pied. So it's obviously a cinnamon pied since it's all white, and it has to have pastel in it because the dad is a super pastel cinnamon pied. So pretty cool how this one turned out. Had to definitely hold her back because you don't hatch all white snakes out and too often, at least pewter pieds. Cool thing about this girl is she's not solid white. She's starting to get colored scales right here. Pieds start to get these in general as they age. And then she has red pupils. It's hard to see in this lighting since the flash is on. And also you could like see right through her head almost. It's almost translucent, but she's really got some cool characteristics. So usually cinnamon pieds hatch out pretty high white. The last one I showed you was a pastel cinnamon pied. Here's a cinnamon pied without pastel in it. This one had a little bit of pattern. A lot of times they hatch out with just the head pattern. But this guy has really cool saddle right here. Actually girl, I don't know why I'm saying guy. It's a female. Starting to get the black scales like the other one. This girl's growing quite fast compared to her siblings. See the red pupil on her? It's a pretty good angle to see it. A lot of pied combos have that. Show you guys another cinnamon pied. This one's from really early in 2016, so she's a lot bigger. And she's got the most pattern out of any cinnamon pied I've hatched so far. Really dark brown, almost black. Hopefully I could produce some really nice super cinnamon pieds that actually aren't too high white and have some black pattern on them. I don't really know what those are going to look like yet, but patient, waiting to see what they look like. Should have some 2018, maybe later this year, but most likely in 2018, but we'll see how that project turns out. I have a lot of cinnamon pied stuff, so I can make different combos from different pairings. I'm not just going to shoot for the pandas. I'm going to try to go for 8-ball panda as well later this year and see how those look, but never know. Alright guys, this video is getting pretty long, so this is going to be the last one. This snake is at minimum a bumblebee and she pied, but there's also a possibility that it has yellow belly, and I actually believe it does have yellow belly. Just because the way it looks compared to the siblings, the way its head, the speckling of yellow and gold on its head. Try to get them to stay still here. Anyway, the dad of this is a super pastel yellow belly pied, so the pastel definitely passed down, and the mom is a spider, or I'm sorry, a super enchi spider het pied, so the enchi in there definitely passed down in the spider, so that's how I know it has all the genes that it has. But the only one that's questionable is the yellow belly, but we'll definitely see next year when he starts to breed if he's got the yellow belly in there, and if he does, it's going to be a super powerful male to have. Even if he doesn't, still very powerful, but I hope he does. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this one. If you have any questions or want to know what I have available, just shoot me a message on our Facebook, Trademark Exotics. Thumbs up if you like this one. Subscribe if you guys haven't. See you later.